So welcome everyone to another episode of the Solve Network, where we have guest experts on to present their expertise and knowledge. If this is your first time joining us, we have these calls on the first and third Thursday of every month. If you'd like to join us as an expert or as a listener, you can message me at shaneborza@gmail.com. We'll put you on the list to either be an audience member or to be a presenter. We'd love to have an array of guests. So no matter what you do or what industry you're in, please join us. Tonight, our guest is Debbie Aquino, who is going to be presenting on calm and how calm is the new happy. And she has this ability to get you there in 5 minutes, which I'm really intrigued about. And I'm really also excited because I just learned that she also has some expertise in dance. So hopefully we can learn a little bit about that. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Debbie. Thank you so much for being here and presenting tonight.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you for the friends that showed up. I'm just so honored to have an audience here. Shane, yes, so I am the founder of the Calm and Happy Academy, and I love empowering high achievers, entrepreneurs to live an amazing, profitable, and successful life with as little stress as possible. I wrote the book, Calm is the New Happy, How to Get There in 5 Minutes, because stress and overwhelm seem to sneak up on us. Nowadays, we think of it as just something accepted and expected. You know, like tonight, I'm going to give you an on-the-spot stress reliever, like Shane mentioned. And before I get there, I want to ask, like, have you any friends like I have where I meet with a couple every week and we do a dance class together? Every week I ask, how are you? How are you guys doing? And their response is, we're so busy. It's the same response every week. We're so busy. And it's not in an excited kind of way. It's like they're so inundated. They're so under. They're so. And so I had the nerve. Last week I asked them, I said, do you know, every week I ask you guys, how you doing? And you always say, we're so busy. And the gal, the wife, you know, she thought for a moment and she said, you know, I guess we just don't know how to say no. How many of us, we don't know how to say no, and we don't realize the stress and the overwhelm that's taking place in our body. We kind of ignore those little headaches that pop up. We ignore the body aches, the neck ache, and they're all signs, they're all red flags. Stress is like the #1 cause of illness. And I learned how my mismanagement of stress was ruining my life. So if I may, I'm just going to jump into a little bit of my story. And I was running a business. I had an activewear, a ladies' activewear business that manufacturing and design, selling clothing around the nation. And I felt like I was running the whole business myself when that wasn't true. I had a bookkeeper, I had pattern makers, I had contractors, I had salesmen, but I was micromanaging every part of it because I'm a behind the scenes, got to get it done kind of gal. And the stress that was building on top of me was like going unnoticed, because I'm like 24/7 dedicated to really having a strong reputation, producing, delivering, getting it out there on time. Slowly, migraine headaches were coming up on a regular basis. And carpal tunnel syndrome, that's when like your wrists don't function quite right? So I had a lot of inflammation in my wrist from all the sketching. And I had sciatica. I was trying to think of the order. Then I had sciatica and herniated disc. And finally, I had moved into this chronic pain that I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was in pain all the time. And it was diagnosed as fibromyalgia. I carried on for 8 years with all of those symptoms, just with chronic migraines and pain. I would fall asleep at night just crying because during the day I had to smile and just hide it and keep moving forward to get the work done. And at night, I would put myself to sleep in tears. And it was one of those nights when I was putting myself to sleep in tears. I literally had my face down in the pillow with my body just elongated because I couldn't find a comfortable space. And I started doing something I hadn't done before. I started talking to my body. I started talking to all the pain in my body. And I started making it my best friend instead of wishing it would go away. I started saying, like, I'm so sorry you're in pain. I love you. How can I help you? What can I do? What can I change? How can I be here for you? What is it you need? I just kept talking to it and saying, I love you. I love you. And I started imagining like what the inflammation looked like inside of me, like the red throbbing, veins and blood and the muscles that were knotted up. And I really connected with my own body and kept loving it and talking to it and asking for it to forgive me for not paying more attention, for not showing up. This went on for like 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, what was so shocking, my body started talking back to me in reaction. Like all the pain left my chest and moved out of my arms and started to gather in my back. And I kept talking to it, and slowly the pain in my back kept shrinking and shrinking and got down to about a size like this, like maybe 4 inches by 3 inches. And I could feel this pain in my back. And now it was burning, but all the other pain had left, but it was burning. I kept talking to that pain. I kept saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. What can I do for you? And the pain started crunching, like making noise, like frosted flakes in my hand. It was going, and then it just like melted away. It melted down my back and it was gone. 8 years of this chronic illness just left me in 45 minutes of loving myself, caring for myself, talking to myself. Well, the next day I looked for the pain. It wasn't there. And the day after that, I went to work and there was no pain. And I kept looking like, where did it go? Where did it go? I was determined to figure out how did it come and where did it go? And that just set me on like 10 years of research and study and following mentors and gurus and experimenting and learning and learning and learning. And what I didn't know that night was that I had actually entered this process that has a name. It's called Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian process of healing. You can heal physical, you can heal emotional pain with this process. And this is the process that led me to write this book. This is my book, Calm is the New Happy, How to Get There in 5 Minutes. Tom's got a copy. Yay, Tom. And in the book, I tell this story, and I also tell many other true stories that I've got to witness my friends go through. They've healed finances, they've healed emotional relationships that were just destructive. And it is a fabulous method that I wanted to give to your audience. And let's do that right now. We're going to move into this process, and then I can share with you a couple other stories, how this process has helped other people. But the process is very simple. It's 4 declarations. And you're going to say these 4 declarations to yourself. Think of, it's called a cleaning. So you think that you're cleaning energy that has built up inside of you, and that energy may be showing itself as pain, as discomfort, right? As achiness. The energy is always telling us something if we pay attention. So we're going to take these 4 declarations, say it to yourself. And as you say it to yourself, if you want to bring in the image of someone you may be having an argument with, you can bring in an image of someone else as well, but speak it to yourself. And the 4 declarations are, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. If you were to take, let's say you take something that's bothering you right now, and you can put that out in front, and you can measure how strongly is this bothering me. We'll say on a scale of 1 to 10. You can measure how strongly this is really living inside of you and bothering you. And then we're going to say the declarations. And if you want to say it along with me, you say it until you feel a shift. And we can come back and talk about a shift, what that is exactly, okay? So right now, I'm just going to offer a healing for everyone that's here, that's listening, whatever may be going on in your life. We're going to pause for a moment, turn inward, and say to yourself, or speak it aloud with me, I love you. I love you. I love you. And often I'll put my name in there, Debbie, I love you. I love you. I love you. And to every cell, nerve, tissue, fiber of your being, say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And to every cell, nerve, tissue, fiber of your being, say, please forgive me. 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 And to every cell, nerve, tissue, fiber of your being, say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for always showing up. Thank you for waking me every morning. Thank you for always being here for me. Thank you, every part of my being, every cell, nerve, tissue, fiber. Thank you. Thank you for being part of me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And in the words of the great philosopher Meister Eckhart, said, if the only prayer ever said was thank you, it would be enough. Thank you is so powerful. And that is the process, Ho'oponopono. The word means to make right. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. If you can't remember all 4, remember the main 2. The number 1 declaration is thank you. And the second declaration is I love you. So if you can't remember the others, just say, I love you, thank you, I love you. And you can say it in any order you want. Say it with sincerity until you feel a shift. Then people say to me, well, what's a shift? I'm not sure. My brother said, Debbie, I say it, I'm not sure I feel a shift. A shift is when we measure the element before, the thing that was bothering you on a scale of 1 to 10. If you feel a shift and it's not as strong as it felt before, you had a cleaning. Your energy shifted. And if you want to get it down to zero, just keep saying the message. Remember, I did it for 45 minutes to my body, not realizing what I was doing. So it took 45 minutes, but it actually healed me physically, emotionally. It healed me. I know Tom is out there smiling because he has done Ho'oponopono. He's had incredible results. I couldn't find the word results. Yes. And we will talk about that when we open up. So friends, this is just something I want the whole world to learn about, to apply, to share with your family. It works, I promise you. I told you I tell a couple stories, and that is my friend. My friend has a hair salon, and she came to me, and not knowing any of this, she just came to me as a friend, and she said, Debbie, I'm really struggling financially. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just got my stomach in knots. And I said, Jerry, I don't have anything material to give you. I can't hand you $1,000, but I have something spiritual. Could I share that? And she's like, yeah, please. Yeah, what do you got? So I gave her the 4 declarations. I told her to say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Anytime she had a doubt or a worry about money, anytime you think of finances, say these 4 declarations. She wrote them down. She wanted to get them right. A week later, we went to a network group, and there's Jerry, and she came running over to me. She goes, Debbie, oh my gosh, I got to tell you something. And I thought, uh-oh, is this going to be good? She said, that hooey hooey ha ha thing you did? She said, it works. It works. Debbie, I started saying it. And a few days later, I rented a room in my house. Now I'm making $1,600 more. I'm sorry, it's $1,200 more a month is coming in. Then she goes, a couple days after that, I kept saying it. I met a lady who's looking for a salon booth, and I've got a booth available in my salon. I'm making $400 a month. That's the $1,600 a month she's making. That's real money added to her regular, right? She says, I can't believe this stuff works. I'm like, I'm so happy to hear that, Jerry. My other friend, Mary, had come to me, and we were just in conversation, and she told me that she and her brother have never gotten along all their life. They just knocked heads. They've never gotten along. And she just wishes she could have like one conversation without them arguing. And I said, Mary, I've learned this powerful process called Ho'oponopono. Would you be interested in hearing about it? And she's like, yeah. So I gave it to her. I gave her the 4 statements. The very next day, she's a runner. She went out early in the morning, ran her 5 miles. She went to a pinnacle, and she looked out over the ocean, and she just said those declarations. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Saying it to herself, and then bringing her brother. She would just envision her brother there. And so they were exchanging this process. 2 weeks passed, and she came to me and she said, you're not going to believe it. My brother called me out of the blue. He just called, and we had the best conversation we have ever had. There was no arguing. There was no argument. There was no disagreement. She says, I can't believe it, Debbie. This stuff works. And I just lit up because I love hearing it, because it worked for me. It healed my body. It works for you. It works for you physically, emotionally. Please just take it, embrace it, spread it out to the world. Tell everyone to start practicing Ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I feel a shift when I say it. So, whew. Shane, I'm kind of at a standstill right now. It's pretty powerful stuff.
I can
And
kind of
those
feel
three
it coming
stories,
off you. Yeah.
yeah. Those 3 stories are in my book. Calm is the new happy, how to get there in 5 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share that with your audience.